AE Fisheries, the guys that have been contracted to come over and net this place. So mate, tell us a little bit how you tackle a venue of this sort of size.
Well, we got asked to come and sort of do a survey of the fish stocks. So we do this sort of thing on a daily basis in the UK and in Europe. We're lucky enough to get plenty of work doing this sort of thing. It's roughly 30-acre lake, so a lot of people tend to sort of try and use electrofishing equipment and inadequate kit, but I'm not here to catch loads of carp. The thing is, with lakes like this, there's an unknown quantity of carp, but we get the feeling from what's been caught and what we're catching. I don't think there's lots of fish in here, but starting with a blank canvas when you're developing a fishery is a lot. You know, anglers always want, oh, let's bung a load of 40s in there, let's get a load of big fish. But for me, it's always better to start off slowly.
That's it, and then you get your balances and stuff.
Yeah,
like that. You know what you're dealing with, don't you?
Exactly, and it doesn't take long. It doesn't take long because fish just grow. But lake like this, you've got behind us here, we've got a little spit.
Yeah, but if you have a look on the map, you'll see there's like two little spits with an island coming up. Well, it's not an island, like a spit of land coming up in between. We're sat on the on one of the arms right now, which is what you can see behind us, which you're just dragging through at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, the only problem we've got here is it's not so much the depth of water, because we're used to doing deeper lakes. It's the fact that it's 4 or 5 foot up from its usual level. And obviously the amount of debris and trees around the banks are causing us a bit of problem. My nets are far deep enough to actually net the water, and out in the open water we're shooting sort of up to 450, 500 metres of seine net out in big open water. We can take out 6-7 acres in one go. And it's been working fine. The only issue we're having is marginal snags, but that's usual, it's par for the course. Yeah. I personally don't think, basically if anywhere where we've been netting, if there was a huge abundance of anything such as bream, roach, rudd, pike, anything, we would be catching them. And also if there was hundreds and hundreds of carp, although without a doubt we'll lose a few under these bushes, it's not really that relevant to me. We know what the average size of the carp in here is, and although all the guys want to see the carp, for me it's not that important. We know enough about what needs to happen here.
Well, it's like you were saying yesterday about the balance in itself. If you get rid of a ton or two of the silverfish, that's a lot less mouths that have got to be feeding in there. So the carp that you have got, like instead of going and buying 30s, 40s, whatever, you grow these ones on. And like you say, when you're cutting down the amount of mouths that have been fed, that means much more food for them, which means they're going to grow even bigger.
You've only got to look at, when we first got here, you're building up a picture of what the history's going on, and doing it every day. We get good at building up exactly what's happened with the biomass, etc. There's 20 cormorants fish in this lake, and we've caught a few roach and rudd 8 to 10 inches like this, and they're scarred up. So in a way, the cormorants are keeping down the silverfish, which for a carp fishery is not really a bad thing. For a UK match fishery, it's a kiss of death. But out here, you kind of want some form of predation, taking out the small fish. If not, that's what we're here to do. Definitely. The other thing is, stuff like this is caddisfly larvae, and there's absolute huge abundance of this stuff. These are little invertebrates that live, they make their own little casing, and they'll live in these boats. So a carp can quite happily pick that up. A 10-pound carp can quite happily come along, they'll hoover this up. You can see the bug, he lives in there, look, and they'll suck that out of there. This is full of nutrition for the fish, and he'll spit that bit out, and he can live on these. Now, personally, from what I've seen so far, I believe that probably a year, 2 years ago, there was a lot of silverfish in the lake. We know that from the fact that 20 cormorants aren't here for fun. They're only here to catch fish. So, and because the average size of the fish, they might not be the youngest of fish, but they're in good condition. The picture I've got, I said I thought there was about 100 to 150 carp in the lake when we arrived, just after what we've seen, and I don't think I'm far out.
No.
We caught a bloody great big silver carp, 80-pound silver carp, and it's a big impressive fish. The potential of the lake's huge. The work that needs to be done is quite considerable, and the anglers don't tend to appreciate that. But obviously it's all to do with bank maintenance, getting the swims done properly, keeping everything well maintained, a lot of tree work, getting the snags out, because for every angler that likes fishing close to snags and is adequate in their skill set, a lot of people aren't, and they'll take ages to get out of the bivvy. You're going to lose fish.
You've got to cater for everyone, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah, and on a venue like this, which is a lot prettier than a lot of the lakes in France that we work at. A lot of them are just big open pits with, all right, they might have a few big fish in, but somewhere like this has got bags of potential. Yeah, it's a pretty place.
It's stunning. When we drove in, we were gobsmacked. It's absolutely gorgeous. The tree lines, and it's just absolutely stunning.
Yeah, you've got the river next door. You struggle with the fluctuating water levels, but you can do stuff about that. When it's down in the summer, that's when a lot of the tree work will be done, the swims will be put in. If at all possible, I'd encourage them to put overflows in, even though it's certain times of year they're not going to do any good, but you can
just to cater in case.
You can work, and all that sort of work the fish are the last thing I'd worry about, because it's quite straightforward. You can buy decent sized fish from a reputable source over here. There's some decent fish farmers who make anyone in England look tiny, to be honest. And that's what I'd do. I'd look at the fish sort of in the winter, but there's a lot of work to do here in the summer. I mean, obviously we're still netting. We're going to do a big open sweep up there, but
I was going to say, this is your third sweep, isn't it? Now you've done one part of the main section. You've done that far arm yesterday, which was an absolute nightmare. Wasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of
Caught up
snags.
on the
Yeah,
snags. But obviously you're whipping through this one quite quick.
yeah, this is fine. I mean, like I say, the main thing is that open water, when we're doing the sweep, 80% of the time the net is fishing absolutely perfect. And yeah, we might be losing the odd fish around the bank, but say if there's 50 carp or 20 carp in the net at the start, we would catch some. The nets aren't running bad enough to think, right, it's a total waste of time. We would be catching fish. But like I say, it kind of times in with what I'm trying to say about the relevant biomass, the current stock. I think you look at the cormorant predation, what's happened with the silverfish, the fish that are being caught now, and what we're catching in the nets.
Yeah, so you take all them different variables, and
it gives you a picture.
And obviously, if you've been netting for however many years, how many years have you been doing this?
21 years. It's all I've ever done. So you do get used to it. And as an angler as well, it's difficult for me, because we hear fishermen talk all the time, and you have to take your fisherman's head off and put your fishery manager's head on. And it's like all everyone's interested in is us catching carp. Like, where's all the big carp? But at the end of the day,
they're so wily, aren't they? It's like you see them burrow down, they just sit in the silt, and the net just drags over the top of them. If there's any little holes, they'll be out of them.
But like I say, if there was lots, we'd be catching a percentage. We do a lot of this in England, in big lakes, big vast lakes bigger than this, and we do have a good reputation for catching carp when they're there. And if there was 500 in here over the course of these few days, we'd have certainly caught a couple of hundred easily. But I just don't think they're in here. But it's always difficult, because the boys are catching the odd one on modern line. Your mentality, you think, well, there must be loads in here. But the fact is, there's no fishing on here. And as soon as you put bait in, especially modern baits, the fish aren't stupid. Even to the fact that I told the guys to, as soon as we netted the lake, when the net goes past, cast out, and you might catch one because it's stirring the bottom up. And that's exactly what's happened.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah, Jamie managed to bag one just after the nets had come through. So obviously it's kicking up all the food off the bottom, and they were straight on it. When most people would think they're going to be long gone. But yeah, so it was quite surprising that he actually did hook into one.
Yeah, I mean, these fish have had no angling pressure. They've got no food in them. We just come through an awkward winter, quite a prolonged winter. It's still not seasonal
right now,
temperature now.
No.
So they're desperate for food. But to me, like I say, I'd feed what's in here. I'd feed them this year. I'd give them a load of food, and during the time when you're doing all the bank maintenance, you're feeding what's in here.
Feeding them up.
Get to the winter, put your stock in, get everything nice and tidy, and open up next year, because it is a gorgeous place to come fishing.
Definitely. They've got their work cut out. There's no two ways about that. But it has got the potential to be absolutely stunning, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It's great.
So what else do you do at home? You've got your netting services, obviously, that you do, and then you've got a fish farm as well.
Yeah, we've got a CFAS registered fish farm. We sell. I mean, I personally, I've got a lot of clients, angling clubs, private estates, just private individuals with lakes and fisheries, and we do. It's a full-time job. We do it all year round. I do supply fish. We supply carp and tension pure crucians. We've got a good reputation for fish supply. I don't sell as many as some of my friends who do it, but because it's not all I do, I sort of split my time up between. This is what I love. I've made a name for myself, coming out and doing fish surveys, population surveys, that sort of thing. But do consultancy work. We've taken on project managed from greenfield right the way through to running fishery.
Amazing, it's such an achievement, isn't it? When
yes,
it's a nice self-satisfaction thing when you got it right.
From day one, and we can offer
exactly.
We can do all the planting, the stocking, and do it sensibly. I'm all about doing things for the long term, not just because otherwise you're just wasting money.
Time,
and I'm lucky. I've been working in the Middle East, set up a whole fish farm in Georgia and fishery out there. I've been lucky enough to sort of travel over Europe, really, and you've got to have a passion for it.
Oh, definitely. You couldn't do it if you didn't like it, could you?
No, because you get wet and cold every day. But no, it's good.
Yeah, I think the whole time you've been here, I think 90% of it they've been in the water. So yeah, fair play. Well, look, we're going to ping up the details of your website and stuff like that on the film, but you've also got a little promo video on your website as well.
Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff on there.
So jump on there, have a little look what he does, and thanks a lot, Andy.
No worries. Cheers, mate. Thanks a lot.